I was just like you when I just started my MDRT journey. And I learned from MDRT conference so that I can be one. I'm also currently servicing at MCC MDRT Malaysia. I welcome you all here to my sessions. And I'm going to share with you on, through income protection, you too can become MDRT. My fellow MDRT members, before I start, anyone know what is a fiduciary's responsibility of the financial advisor? We need to be aware of it because we live in a compliance regulatory environment. Our fiduciary is the highest standard of care. We must learn the language of the insurance, modern compliance, and always works in the client's best interest. Do you agree that? Number third, we must avoid conflict of interest. If you're only getting the commissions for yourself, and this is not the client's best interest. The fourth one is, as advisor, our job is to find gaps and holes in the clients. And we must fix it as well. In this business, we know that there's no guarantee. The life that you will have today will still be there tomorrow. We have to become a strong advocates in the income protection planning, disability insurance, to advise our client the importance of having the right coverage. I'm going to show you how to do a proven protection presentations. I use it many times to close the sales. Let's look at our life journey here. From now on to the futures, you are working very hard getting 5C to good life. What are the 5C? The first one is car, condo, credit card, cash, and career. And your health is also important in the living happy environment. That's why you have lots of saving, and then you plan to save and achieve your goals. In everyday life, health is seen as a resource to maintain our basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, education, car loans, housing loan, medical loan, and etc. If nothing happens along this journey, I'm sure you'll be able to achieve all your dreams and goals. But what's stopping you from reaching your goals? It's your income temporarily or permanent. I think it's temporarily. And what about your basic needs? Is your basic needs temporary or permanent? It's a permanent. What if something happened along this journey? Like the 6C sneaks in. Cancer. Can you pick one C to sacrifice? Or are you going to sacrifice all the C's? Let's continue here. In life, there are two if. I highlighted the life in the center. There's an if, yeah? The first if, what if you're dying too soon? Definitely your income will be gone. Who will then support your family? Then the second if, what if you become critically ill? How are you going to pay all these basic needs without an income? However, we need to know the cost of running our life because your income is the greatest financial assets. Do you agree, ladies and gentlemen? How many of you heard of Dr. Maurice Barnett? He is known as the father of critical illnesses. This presentation is tribute to late Dr. Maurice Barnett, who created the critical illnesses products in 1983. And he introduced to the world the critical illnesses insurance. He says that 80% of people will suffer from one of these big four critical illnesses in their lifetime. We got about 3,000 people in this whole conference today. And so, work it out. 80% of 3,000, that will be how much? 2,000 people in this conference, yeah, will suffer from one of these big three illnesses in their lifetime. I mean, is that a scary number? Yeah? 80% of 3,000. That's why it is imperative for us to discuss the CI with your clients. Critical illnesses can affect anyone at any time. It does not discriminate. In market critical illnesses insurance, it is important to be aware of the statistic. Some of the infectious disease like TB, diarrhea, Zika virus, Ebola, all this, and then to the lifestyle illnesses we have today. Now, What we have is a lifestyle conditions like heart attack, cancer, stroke, and bypass. Because people are become more westernized now due to their lifestyle has changed. I won't get into many statistics here because you can get it from your own company or online resources. Can I have a show of hand, please, if your clients have suffered from critical illnesses, heart attack, or stroke? Yeah, a lot of you have it, right? So you know most of you have it. However, you need to know the cost of cancer treatments. Here's an estimated treatment cost if you are done locally in Malaysia. For stroke to cancer, you can see from the chart here, it's around 50,000 to 100,000. And leukemia can go up to 300,000 per year. So besides understanding costs, what are the economic impact of cancer in Malaysia? 12 months after they were diagnosed, due to high cancer treatment costs per day, most of them face financial catastrophe. Yeah, for cancer-related service with medical inflation in Malaysia, estimated at 12% per year. This cost would quickly add up to millions of ringgits in a matter of 10 years. According to the American Cancer Society, 34% of the costs associated with the cancer are direct and generally covered by medical card. 66% of the costs are indirect costs. These costs are not usually covered by medical cards. However, you need to think of the cost to your family if they do strike critical illnesses. What is MDRT to you, ladies and gentlemen? Most people view health insurance as a must. They use it to pay hospital bills when they are sick or admitted. What they usually don't have is an insurance that pays them lump sum cash, when they're too sick to work. Income replacement insurance picks up where health insurance leave off. We must let or help our clients to end the procrastinations because no one is a fortune teller. It seems every day we see newspaper cutting or hear people say whose life trajectory changed due to illness or injury. This newspaper cutting show the kidney dialysis patient has spending all his savings for medical treatment. And a young father used up all his savings in order to cure cancer. And the family are facing dilemma. But many Malaysians may think they are immune to such danger. Do you agree with that? No one knows what will happen tomorrow, including your clients will experience life bumps and bruises. We need to get them stop thinking in the world of probability and start thinking in the world of consequences. In their mindset, what are the chances I will die next year? Or I get really sick? I will tell them they are simply asking the wrong questions. It is not about the chances you will die or strike critical illnesses. The question is, what happens if your family do die or suffer from critical illnesses? The truth is, when it comes to Medi and care, no one should rely on luck. This is a very dangerous scenario, considering how many families have a hard time saving because it can eat all your saving. What are the insurance penetration rate in Malaysia? According to Liam, 30 years ago, 1 in 10 Malaysians have life insurance policy. Fast forward today, that number has stand 3.5 to 10. This finding is very worrying because the penetration rate has not been rising much in 30 years. Furthermore, most of the policyholders are underinsured with only 54%. Considerable size of the protection gap is worrying, since many dependents may not be able to maintain a reasonable lifestyle in the event of death or breadwinner, or maybe even driven into poverty one day. This amount was far below the life insurance industry rules of thumb, in that an individual, especially the breadwinner, is suggested to have a life insurance coverage which equals 10 times his annual income for life insurance planning. No one has ever gone bankrupt because they bought life insurance, isn't it? So how much do you pay for your car insurance? A basic life insurance is just a small fraction of that. So not having money, it's a very poor excuse. This means that Malaysians are generally unprepared for rainy days. What are the indirect costs? So the first one is loss of income. After an operation, people live longer, isn't it? But they die financially. There was a gap. I call it protection gap. The question is, how is insurance survive in this type of environment with no income? How are you going to pay for all these basic needs or fixed expenses?